Number 25. Eritrea. This small nation in the Horn of Africa has been a dictatorship since its 1993 independence from Ethiopia. Since then, it's been in constant military struggle with its neighbor and has terrible scores on human rights and state legitimacy. Number 24. Liberia. One of the poorest nations on earth, it has almost no infrastructure whatsoever. It lacks clean water, telephone service, and even sewage systems. It also has a huge problem with refugees and internal displacement. Number 23. North Korea. According to the FSI, or Failed State Index, North Korea ranks worst on legitimacy of state. Human rights violations are a fact of life, and according to various sources, nearly 2 million people have died in the last 10 years from starvation alone. Number 22. Uganda. Uganda scored lowest on its rapidly increasing demographic pressures, as well as numerous sources of socioeconomic instability. Number 21. Syria. After 2 years of civil war, Syria is only getting worse. Number 20. Burundi. Nearly 90% of the citizens of this small African country live in poverty, and its GDP per capita is only $600. Number 19. Ethiopia. After Eritrea's independence in 1993, Ethiopia is now completely landlocked. Its largely agricultural economy is now riddled with droughts and famines. Number 18. Niger. With the highest birth rate on Earth at more than 7 children per woman, this West African country suffers from terrible public services and an inability to feed or educate its youth. Number 17. Kenya. Nearly 50% of the population lives in poverty, and almost an equal number is unemployed. Number 16. Nigeria. Corruption, unemployment, and horrible infrastructure are rampant. Number 15. Guinea Bissau. Roughly 70% of the people in this West African country live on less than $2 per day. It scored terribly on indices of legitimacy of state and factionalized elites. Number 14. Guinea. After a series of juntas and coups, human rights issues have included numerous acts of torture by security forces and widespread abuse of women and children through acts like female genital mutilation. Number 13. Pakistan. With horrendous poverty and debt coupled with Islamic extremism, Pakistan is underdeveloped in numerous areas and has consistently received terrible scores on indices related to security apparatus and vengeance-seeking group grievances. Number 12. Cote D'Ivoire. With 2 civil wars in the past 11 years, this nation is full of UN peacekeepers and French troops trying to keep the peace. Number 11. Iraq. After the U.S. withdrawal in 2011, violence and terrorism continued. This Middle Eastern nation scored very low on the area of vengeance-seeking group grievance. Number 10. Zimbabwe. Headed by a brutal dictator, Robert Mugabe, the inflation is so bad that the government has considered creating a $100 trillion bill. Number 9. The Central African Republic. With a series of coups d'etats since gaining independence in 1960, this nation scored lowest for refugees and security apparatus. Number 8. Haiti. An already failed state was delivered a crushing blow with the 2010 earthquake that rocked the island. After that, a cholera epidemic broke out and left the country almost undeniably one of the poorest nations on earth. Number 7. Afghanistan. After numerous years of US and UN-led reconstruction, Afghanistan got terrible scores for foreign intervention. It's emerged from this phase with weak security forces and an extremely frail government. Number 6. Yemen. One of the poorest countries in the Middle East and dominated by Islamic extremists, this nation scored worst on security apparatus. Number 5. Chad. At just under 50 years, Chad has the lowest life expectancy in the world. It has almost no public infrastructure and suffers from widespread human rights abuses. Number 4. South Sudan. Recently gaining independence from Sudan, it's riddled with landmines and unable to provide basic health care to its population. Number 3. Sudan. Thanks to the brutal genocide in Darfur, Sudan was ranked one of the worst nations on earth in terms of refugees, group grievances, and external intervention. Number 2. Congo. Widespread malnutrition, pollution, and disease gave Congo terrible scores in terms of demographic pressures. Hundreds of thousands of people die every year from civil conflicts, and nearly 500,000 women are raped annually. And number 1. Somalia. Perpetually war-torn and with almost no recognizable government, this nation has a life expectancy of just above 50 years and an infant mortality rate of 1 out of 5. It received the most abysmal ratings for refugees and human rights violations. If you liked the video you just saw, then consider clicking on the button at the top right to subscribe. Also, check out our other popular videos, 25 of the most bizarre and unique finds on Google Earth, and 25 ways to simplify your life with these awesome life hacks. If you're still itching for more, go ahead and check out our website at list25.com for a whole bunch of cool lists.